Bundee, you are up against Joe Schmidt again, someone you know very well, and someone who gave you your debut for Ireland. So just what are your thoughts going into this game with that in mind?
Look, Joe's been a big part of Ireland rugby, or Irish rugby. He's obviously doing a good job with Australia at the moment. They'll probably be a bit disappointed about how they went last week, but I'm sure they'll be coming out stronger this week. With Joe, there's always a backfire or a backlog coming back after a game like that. So yeah, looking forward to the challenge.
And you have a good relationship with him, even though he made a couple of comments in the summer during the Lions tour. What's your relationship like with him now?
I didn't really see the comments, but Joe's a great man. I have so much respect for Joe. Like you said, he was the one that gave me my debut. I have a huge amount of respect for him, for the way he had how he played his part in Irish rugby, and yeah, so looking forward to it.
And just where do you feel Ireland are at right now as a squad?
We're building nicely. Obviously, we're in a transition mode with a lot of guys, senior boys who are recently retired. So we're building nicely. It's a chance for everyone to step up at the moment and go with it. So yeah.
Michael.
Hi, Buddy. How do you assess your own game at the moment? Just switching between the three teams this summer with the Lions and then into Connacht for a short while and here. Where's your game at the moment?
Probably not at the point where I want it to be, but that's what it is. You know what I mean. You just got to adapt and go with it. You know what I mean. And we have such a healthy competition here in the Irish group with the likes of Robbie, Ringer, Stu, and now Tom Farrell, all quality players. So it's a matter of how much can you improve your game and how much can you take your game to another level, and that's what I need to do.
Is it that physical or mental? Is it difficult dipping in and out, or is it more to get your head straight? And that's how you'd see the improvement or back to your normal level? No,
I wouldn't say it's a physical or mental thing. It's just, there's a healthy competition, guys who've been playing very well for their provinces, who's put their hand up. Guys, you obviously saw Stu play very well in the New Zealand game. Then obviously saw Robbie and Tom playing the Japan game. You know what I mean? The guys are putting their hands up. So it's whether once you get your chance, you've got to make sure you take those chances with open hands. So yeah.
Johnny.
The Aussies are obviously hurting, especially after Italy. Are you expecting much more to come at you maybe than normal from Australia, just because of the way things have fallen so far for them?
I think Australia's a quality side, you know what I mean? I don't think them losing the game will make them, you know what I mean, even more angrier and play even more. I think they're a high quality side and they can tip over anyone when they want to. So I think we just need to make sure that we're properly on our game this week. We know what team they are and how Joe works, and we just got to make sure we'll be on our A game, because they can tip you off whenever they want to. So you could see how tough it was when we played against them in the Lions series. It wasn't an easy 3-test match, you know what I mean? They literally gave up the fight for all 3 tests. So we expect the same when they come down this week.
Just someone described Ireland's outing against Japan as underwhelming. Do you think Ireland are close to being a strong test side team, or is there distance to go before they reach where you're best?
No, we're building nicely, you know what I mean? We're learning on the go. Obviously, like I said, there's transition period at the moment, but I think guys are putting up their hands, they're finding their feet, finding their flow, and starting to play how they want to play the game. So I think we're in a great spot at the moment.
Thanks.
What's it like sort of playing in a squad like Australia? You played them a bit over the last few months. How do you go into this game? Obviously, it's a different team than the Lions, but how do you go into a game like this?
You just got to make sure you prepare well every week. Do you know what I mean? With Australia, like you said, they've got threats all around the park. You can go from their forward pack all the way to their back line, and I think the moment you don't prepare well, that's when they're going to tear you apart. So I think we have to try and make sure that we do our homework with them and make sure we do our due diligence of making sure that we put our best foot forward and prepare well for this week.
Derek?
Well, for the first time maybe in a little while, Connacht are making a push, not necessarily in terms of the league position, but just around the squad generally. We're seeing a lot more people, the A team, or the XV as it's called, doing very well. Could you just tell us a little bit, say, about Sam's brother Keane? He's been your captain, so clearly he's a leader a bit. Could you just tell us a bit about him?
Keane?
Prendergast.
Nah, he's been unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? He's obviously led well in Connacht. You can see the fruition on his performance. He obviously played really well when he came on against Japan, and I think Keane is just growing as a player. Do you know what I mean? He's just growing as a leader, and he's getting more confidence week in, week out. I think the more he's in camp, the more confidence he's getting, and the more he's starting to play the way he wants to play. So I think Keane's an unbelievable player, and you'll see a lot of him.
Now, a lot was made about Tom Farrell being around the squad a long time, but Keane Blade has been around the squad a long time, and he looked extremely busy when he came out against Japan. And to be fair, all the subs, there were 3 tries in that period. Could you just tell us what's the difference? Has Stuart Lancaster done something for him, or how deserving of a chance was he?
I think Blady's been playing unbelievable for the last couple of years. Do you know what I mean? And he deserved to be on that bench on the weekend. So nothing's changed. The way he plays in Connacht is the exact way he plays here in Ireland. So he's expressing himself very well, and he's a player that's just growing just like him. Do you know what I mean? The more confidence he gets into this camp, the more he wants to put his game out. So yeah.
And then there's a heap of players down in the XV. Sean Johnson had to be withdrawn. Shane Bolton, that's 2 top class A games he's played in 2025. How are you seeing, say, Paul Boyle then as well, also getting mentioned in dispatches? Can you just tell us, is there any reason why the boat is rising there? Just people are getting more of a chance at Ireland at Connacht. Can you feel something bubbling there at all?
I think Stu's done a great job with the Connacht boys. You know what I mean? Guys are getting confidence back. Guys are starting to believe in themselves again, and you can see it in the way they're playing and the way they get selected in the X15 that you're saying. Paul Boyle's playing unbelievable rugby at the moment. Shane Bolton, Shane Bolton is obviously a class player, and Jansen as well. So the confidence of those boys, obviously, when they're in camp, they probably when they first started they were a bit shy, but now they're coming out of their shells. You know what I mean? And having confidence in the way they play, and yeah, they're just expressing themselves at the moment now.
And it's not going to play.
Who?
Mac, is he back?
Teams
I don't know.
on Thursday there. Kieran.
You mentioned that transition period and the amount of senior players you've lost over the last while. How have you seen the kind of next generation players below that, like Caelan and Nancy, and you've been asked to step up in those leadership roles? How have you seen them kind of grow in that area over the last year or so?
They're unbelievable, aren't they? I think Caelan's an unbelievable leader. Dan Sheehan, you saw him, how he leads and the way he plays. I think they're just growing. Do you know what I mean? They're taking, grabbing a hold of it, and they're using guys around them to lead the squad. And I know you guys don't see it, but inside our huddle and in our group, they're unbelievable leaders for us, and the way they lead with their actions and the way they talk to us. So I think they're just growing as a player and as a leader, and it's unbelievable to see.
Is it a different kind of leadership to what this team would have been used to previously? Because obviously players like Johnny and Pete are still that kind of old school leadership.
No, I think they're leading the way they want to lead. Do you know what I mean? They're making it their authentic self instead of trying to be someone else. So I think Dan Sheehan is Dan Sheehan. He's always going to be, he's a bubbly guy. Same as Caelan Doris can be cracking jokes here and there. But you know what I mean? When they're putting out serious talks, then it's exactly the same with the old guys. So I think they're leading it and grabbing it by their own, by the way they want to lead. So yeah.
David.
Hi, Buddy. I know Andy spoke to you all for Chicago about this being kind of base camp for the next World Cup. How do you see yourself fitting into that kind of whole timeline, and how central a role do you think you can play at the next World Cup?
I have to be named first for the next few camps then. I've got to play well. Look, I'm just going to, whatever role I be put in the squad, whether it's starting, bench, or not playing, I'm there to make sure that I give it everything. Do you know what I mean? Helping out the guys who are playing, helping out the guys who are on the bench, or making sure that we're all across our same work. So whatever role that I'm put in, I just make sure I do it the best I can.
Yeah, and it's a while away. I'm just wondering, like, in the last couple of years, as one matures, as we get older, you and I'm just wondering, have you changed much in how you prepare and how you look after yourself in terms of, I don't know, training load, or how you even play the game? I mean, have you tried to look at that in terms of adapting?
I think coaches well understand how players are. That's why our S&Cs are there, that's our nutritionists are there, and guys that look after whatever it is within the game. We just got to make sure that we turn up. We know well that you got to do all the recovery you can, making sure that you look after your body physically and mentally. So that all plays a part. It's just, I don't think age plays a really big part of it. I think you just got to make sure that you're ready to go whenever you get called upon.
The S&C guys are feeding you the numbers. Are the numbers still pretty much similar to where they were now?
If not, it'll be higher, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I think. Well, I've been told that, yeah. My speed numbers are through the roof. 10.2 it was.
Last question here.
Just slightly left field, just curious what you've made of Andre Estes, the Big 12 like yourself, playing in the back row over the last weeks. It seems to be happening more and more, players playing different positions. Do you guys do much of that in Ireland, and would you fancy yourself in the back row?
I'll fancy myself in back row, obviously.
On a serious note, like, do you do much of that? It seems to be happening more and more.
If it needs to happen in the game, we're more than comfortable jumping in there. But I think we have class back rows that are there, not within the 23, just outside the 23 as well. Like I said, there's guys like Keane that's in the background. There's guys like Nick Timney in the background. There's back rows that are fighting for each other, like Josh, Jack, Ty Byrne, Ryan Bird. Like, there's numbers of guys on back rows that can play there. So I don't think trying to take a position of guys who are really specialised in those kind of positions. Obviously, South Africa's different. They're big boys. I mean, Andre Usays, and he's a massive lad, and they're quite comfortable doing that. So, I think we have class back rows that can do the job when it needs to be done. And if it needs being that centres jump in, then we're more than comfortable to do it. So, yeah.